Next muscle groups that I'm going to focus on are just on the outside of the quad near the IT band. Now notice I said near the IT band. The reason I don't promote rolling the IT band vigorously or every single day is because there's a lack of blood flow to that area. So what I'm focused on is the attachment site between the IT band and a muscle in the quad. Okay, so when we're focusing on that muscle attachment at the quad, which is the vastus lateralis muscle, we're going to roll and see if we can find adhesions or scar tissue along that IT band to get it loosened up. If you've ever heard of a syndrome called IT band syndrome, runners get it quite often, and it's something that can be very, very painful. So understanding muscle groups, i.e. the outside quad muscle, the vastus lateralis, and the attachment site at the IT band can really give you a leg up in breaking up those adhesions. Now, doing step one, which is foam rolling, is all well and good, but you have to combine the 4 steps of corrective exercise per the NASM model, and that has served me well over the last 10 years. Now, to give you a quick tutorial about this, I'm sitting on top of the foam roller. My top leg comes over for stability. I plant it so I can take some pressure off. Okay? Hands behind, and now I'm rolling down the length of the IT band. Looking for sore spots, looking for adhesions. Doing it for about 30 seconds. And that is how we roll our IT bands. So, next muscle group, now that I've gone to the sides, is I'm going to focus on the quads now. You've got 4 muscles in the quads. We just talked about the outside muscle, the vastus lateralis. You also have inner muscle called the VMO, vastus medialis. This muscle, when it's overactive, causes a lot of knee pain. So foam rolling the quads can actually help you quite a lot, especially with those muscles that are leading up the quad into the hips with a tiny little muscle called the tensor fascia lata, or TFL. Those little muscles for people who sit down a lot can become very tight and can become very painful. So I'm going to roll the quads, and then I'm going to work up into my hips, and then I'm going to stretch those same hips out so I can create some functional flexibility. I like to go both legs on the foam roller. You do not have to do that if you've got any shoulder dysfunction. You do not have to do it this way. I just prefer it this way because I get greater pressure on my quads. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do I save my shoulders and take pressure off my quads? Similar to our hamstrings, all we're doing is going off center with the foam roller, planting our outside foot and rolling back and forth. Now I can control how much pressure I put on that leg by planting my foot. Getting into push-up position, working through the quad. Rolling in, rolling out, really focusing on getting down to the top of that knee and finding any sore spots at the attachment sites next to my knees. And that is how we foam roll the quadriceps. Okay? Now, I said I was going to work into my hips. I prefer you go off center here when you're working the muscles of the hips. Okay? So you'll notice that I'm working one leg right here on the hip, that little tiny muscle. And all we're doing is planting our outside foot, and I like to go to my elbow because it allows me to really work in and out that little small muscle group and the attachment site of the quadriceps. Now, I used to play baseball. I was a left-handed pitcher, and my left hip has been chronically tight for years. And when I started taking up running, I started noticing that my left hip became super tight, and then later on my knee started bothering me. Well, what I realized is that I wasn't taking care of my hips by foam rolling, stretching, and then activating my glutes. So, and I'll teach you guys how to do that here in a little bit, okay? But in foam rolling the hips, it's a very small surface area. You don't want to actually get on the bone, but you want to get on that little muscle group right here and roll in and out. Very simple thing to do, but often overlooked. Roll in and out, coming to the front,